DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Hope everybody's been doing great. Whatever y'all been up to. Just finished. The last time I did one of these videos, I think I hadn't even done my Work on Your Game Live, my first live in-person event. If y'all didn't know, I did my first self-hosted live in-person event. That was in August of 2021 down here in Miami. I'm doing another one in early 2022. So if you didn't know about that, that means you might not be on my email list, or you might not be following me on Instagram. That's really where I do a lot of my up-to-date, like day-to-day stuff, not on YouTube. So any of y'all who only see me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, number one, at Dre Baldwin. That's where you can see my day-to-day stuff, where you get up-to-date news. And also on Instagram, it's just more active. Another thing you can do is get on my email list. And the easy way to do that is just click on one of those links down below to get my free book, The Third Day or The Mirror of Motivation. As soon as you put your email in, we got you. And you'll get my emails where you'll know all the up-to-date business stuff that's going on. YouTube, I post obviously the podcast episodes, and sometimes I take episodes that I recorded but I never put out. I put them here on YouTube. So any of y'all see a video where I might mention like 2020 and you're like, yo, is this an old video? Technically, yeah, but I never put it out before, so y'all never seen it. So any of you asking that question, I've had a few people ask me that. That's what's up with YouTube. And I'll make another video about YouTube, because we're going to maybe get YouTube popping again. I haven't really been paying a lot of attention to YouTube, honestly. So if any of you asking or commenting about anything on YouTube or what I'm doing with YouTube, honestly, I'm not really doing anything. I just put the videos out, but YouTube has not really been a main platform for me recently. Like, since I stopped playing ball, it hasn't really been the thing that I've been focusing on. So anyone asking about that, I will be making another video when we talking about YouTube. Now, these kind of videos, the shorter ones where it's more like I've recorded it down, we put it out now, I haven't made that many of these either, because usually I make them when I'm doing something like this, like driving, or I might just make one on a balcony at home. But I've been doing so many other things, getting ready for this next event that we're about to do, and a whole bunch of other things that I'm dealing with business-wise. I haven't really had time to do it. Or when I'm driving, honestly, I don't even drive that often. I think the last time I drove was like 3 weeks ago. But anyway, I'm driving now, so I thought of this, and the topic for this video we finally want to get to is, you are not in the business of changing minds. And this is a really good point for especially the world that we're in right now, because I'm recording this again. It's a big ass lizard iguana that I just passed here on Venetian Causeway. The world that we're in now, I just went into a grocery store down here in South Beach, and they had a big sign out front that says, we strongly encourage everyone to wear a face covering or a mask or whatever. And as you can see, I don't have a mask on. I did not have a mask on in the grocery store, because they didn't mandate the mask. They just said we strongly encourage. So of course all the employees got masks on. A lot of the customers had masks on. And a lot of places I go, most of the people, at least down here in Florida, which is a place that if you don't live here in Florida, maybe you've heard people talking about it. Well, in Florida and Texas, they're just wild doing everything, this and that. You don't have to wear a mask in a lot of places. Only a few places is it mandated, like a government building, like the post office or something like that. But anyway, I was just thinking to myself as I walked into the store, I saw that sign and it said we strongly encourage. Then I walked in, everybody has a mask on, all the customers, everybody. I don't. There was a handful of people that didn't. And I was just thinking to myself, somebody could look at me and say, oh man, you're killing people by not wearing a mask. Or if you don't have a vaccine, you're killing people by not getting the vaccine. And just how crazy it is that people actually believe this, because I'm an active user of social media. Not talking about something like YouTube, but let's say Instagram, Twitter. I don't really use Facebook, so I get all my news from Twitter, and I use Instagram. I'm on Instagram like all day. So if you want to know my day-to-day, again, what I'm doing up to date to the minute, Instagram's the best place to look at my Instagram story. But on Twitter, I see people talking this stuff every day, like, yo, you're killing people with this, and the way that the news kind of handpicks what information they're going to share, or what facts, quote unquote, they're going to give out. And people are really buying into this, that people who either are not wearing a mask, but it's another big ass lizard right there, or don't have the vaccine or whatever, you're killing people. They don't have a right. These people who don't have a vaccine, you don't have a right to kill the kids. You don't have a right. Now the kids is the focus. You don't have a right to kill kids, or kids don't have a right to kill other kids, or you you don't have a right to kill me by getting on a plane or going to a restaurant or going to a gym without a vaccine. And people are just really, and they're really buying into this. There are some people, I believe, I've always said this, there are some people who, they come out with these radical positions, and I think that they are smart enough to know what they're doing. They know that these radical positions are not actually 100% factual and truthful, but they're doing it because is a hustle for them. It's a hustle that they get enough people believing them and enough people buying into the story. They can keep pushing it, and they can sell books and, you know, consulting gigs and speaking gigs and get on TV, and they can make money from it. It's a hustle. It's a business for these people. And I think some of these people are smart enough to know that what they're saying, there's not 100% bullshit, but there's some bullshit mixed in, and they know that they're doing it. There's just a way for them to, you know, do what they got to do business-wise. They get it. It's like acting. It's like TV. It's like the WWF. There are some people in that category. Then there are other people, though, who have really bought into this, and they truly believe that somebody who doesn't wear a mask or someone who's not vaccinated, I'm just using these as examples. It's not really about the mask or the vaccines, but it's a good topic because that's what everybody's talking about right now. That there are people who really believe that if you don't wear a mask or you don't get a vaccine, you are literally killing people, or you don't care about other people's lives, or you shouldn't be allowed to, you know, participate in day-to-day normal society because you are, you know, you're basically not caring about other people's health. And of course, any of you who understands these things, and you've heard people say these things and you don't agree with them, I personally don't agree with them. You heard people say these things and you don't agree. What you might start doing, and this is what I've heard many people do, and I'm going to advise you not to do this anymore, is do not start logically arguing with these people, or don't come with your logical counterpoints to what they're saying. So when someone says you're literally killing people by not getting the vaccine, or you're wrong for not wearing a mask, do not come back to them and say, well, say something like, well, look, if you have the vaccine, then that means you should be protected against the disease anyway. Or don't say anything like, you got the vaccine, but people with the vaccine are still getting the virus, even though these things are true. And I'm gonna tell you why not to say this. Or just now, I was in a grocery store, and the kid who checked me out at the register, he had on like the blue surgical mask. And I think many of us have read and heard and seen, I think almost all of us know, that those blue surgical masks do not block anything. They don't do anything. You're basically wearing it as performance art. Don't go back and tell them, hey, you're wearing that mask, and that mask is not actually doing anything. You're only wearing it because somebody told you to, or because you don't want to be ostracized socially, or you don't want to be attacked by people for not doing the right thing, whatever. Don't come back to them with logical points. Why should you not do this? First of all, as I just told you, when somebody truly believes something, you are not going to, your logic is not going to change their beliefs. Any of you who's ever done any type of selling or any type of copywriting, you should understand this. You do not change people's beliefs with logic. What you change people's beliefs with is you have to give them an experience. They have to viscerally understand something in a way that will allow them to change their own beliefs. You will never change another person's belief by giving them some logical points that are 100% factual and accurate that will change their understanding of a thing. Even though you're right, understand you're right. They don't understand the thing that you understand. That's why you can talk about it logically and they can't. So do not do this. And the other reason why you shouldn't do it is because, and this is the point of this video that I'm finally getting to, you're not in the business of changing people's minds. When a person has decided that they see things a certain way, when they decide that something is how it is, especially anyone who's an adult, a fully formed adult. So let's say that their brain is at least 21, let's say 21 years old, might even be younger than that. But let's just say 21 years old or older, a person comes to you and they share some kind of belief, something that they truly believe in their hearts, and they're expressing it. Even if you think, even if you know, even if you can prove that the thing that they believe is some complete bullshit and it makes no sense and it does not have any logical backing, they can't back it up with any kind of facts, they're just repeating a whole bunch of talking points they heard from a bunch of other people. And listen, I understand as well as you do that there are a bunch of people who are living their lives just like this right now. Even when you know this, it is not your business to try to change another person's mind. Why is it not your business? Because first of all, you're going to fail. You cannot change another person's mind with logic and reason. I've tried. Trust me, it does not work. The second thing is, when people staunchly believe in something, anytime you try to argue against them and tell them why their belief is incorrect, all they're going to do is dig in deeper into that belief and not change it simply because There's just the perversity that is naturally occurring in human beings. We are all naturally perverse in this way, in that if we believe something and you try to tell me that I'm wrong for believing it, I'm just going to dig my heels in deeper into my belief and argue even stronger for the belief that I have. Not because I got more information, not because I'm smarter than you, but simply because you're trying to tell me that I'm wrong. When you want someone to change their belief, the best thing you can do is to show them, demonstrate how they are wrong, and let them decide on their own that their belief needs to change. Do not explicitly tell them that they're wrong and tell them that their belief needs to change. That will 100% fail every single time. So the only time you should do that is if you are purposely knowing that you're antagonizing that person and you know you're not going to change their mind, you're just doing it for fun. But if you actually want to change another person's mind, never ever try to come at them direct and just tell them that they're wrong. My favorite book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, he explains this. He says, I believe it was chapter 4, law number 4 of the book, which is win through your actions, never through your argument. If you want to prove a point to another person, do not try to do it with your eloquence and your articulateness and your verbiage, because it's not going to work. If you really want someone to get a point that you want to get across, you got to let them feel it. You got to let them understand it in a visceral way, meaning they have to get some type of experience in their own mind that lets them understand it, not just your words and your eloquence. So the bottom line, what I want you to get from this video is you are not in the business of changing minds. So the next time you come across a person who has some belief or some idea that you are wrong based on something that you are doing or saying or demonstrating, or even something that you're not doing or saying, demonstrating, but they think you are, and they start telling you how you're wrong, or they start going off on about some bullshit and some talking points that they got from somewhere that's not even accurate, don't get mad. Don't go back and forth. Don't start arguing with them. It's going to be a waste of your energy. Again, unless you're just doing it for fun. If you're doing it for fun and for sport, then fine. But just know that you're doing it for fun and sport, and that there will not be any tangible outcome, no tangible result that comes from it. You are not in the business of changing other people's minds. Let people think how they want to think. And what you need to do, if you're trying to sell people, you're trying to convert people, you're trying to get people on your side, preach to the choir. All right. You know what preaching to the choir means? It means sharing your ideas with people who already have those ideas, and they will go further into it. I mean, think about when you go to church or any type of religious place or any type of politician who goes out and does a campaign event. Who are they talking to? When a church pastor shows up at church and gives the sermon, they're not talking to people who are, most of the people who are sitting in that congregation are not questioning the word of Christ. They already agree with the word of Christ. They showed up because they know they agree, and they know you're going to give them more reason to agree. That is preaching to the choir. When a Democrat goes out on the campaign trail and they do some kind of event to hype up their crowd, their supporters, they're not talking to a bunch of skeptical Republicans. They're talking to Democrats. Why? Because the Democrats already know they agree with this candidate. They're just looking for more reasons to agree with them, to get more excited, to go do what they already know they're going to do, which is vote for this individual. So this is what you should be doing. Preach to the choir. If you want people to change their minds, if you want to convert people, again, you have to figure out a way to let them feel it and show themselves. Not you show them show themselves. That is your job to figure out if you want to change minds. But if you're just trying to make sales, preach to the choir. All right, don't waste your energy or your time focusing on people who have a different belief. You will not change another person's mind. That is a bad business to be in, the business of changing minds. So now, all that said, if you haven't yet claimed your free copy of my newest book, The Third Day, The Decision that Separates the Pros from the Amateurs, go to the link down below. It is thirddaybook.com. I will give you the book for free. All you're going to do is cover the shipping for the book. I will ship you a physical copy of the book. We got paperback, we have hardcover. If you want to get an autographed book, you can get that too. All of that is at thirddaybook.com. Also, The Mirror of Motivation, you can still get that book for free as well. And we got a bunch of other goodies. And for those of you who want to come to a live event with me, I'm doing live events now. I mean, in person, in Miami. I mean, why not do it in Miami? Live event down here in Miami. The next one is going to be early 2022. As of this recording, I have not announced the date yet, but by the time this video comes out, maybe I'll announce the date. But anyway, if you just follow me on IG, you'll know about the date and all that stuff. Just follow me on Instagram, you'll know about that. That's workonyourgame.live is the website. Workonyourgame.live. If you go there, whatever information is available right now will be there. Worst case scenario, you can just put your email address in, and when it is available, I'm going to tell everybody. That's, again, workonyourgame.live. That's all I'm going to say for this video. Everybody, work on your game. Dre all day.